Hi, this is Clodagh from Yarn Not Alone, and today we are going to be casting on using our 62 peg loom. That's 60 from here to here, and oops, look at that, one's fallen off. I need to get the glue out for that one. And 2 anchor pegs on the end. I like to use a yarn guide, so to start off I'm going to thread my 2 strands of Himalayan Super Soft through my yarn guide, and then I'm going to make a slip knot. Everyone does their slip knots differently. I'm going to make a slip knot onto my first peg. Take out enough yarn so that you are not having to pull the tension, and from here we're going to start. Just going to pull that back one around, and as you can see I'm going around the outside of each peg. You're going to continue to do this all the way to the end. Now that I'm at the end of my loom, I'm going to just push those stitches down, and then I'm actually going to come back. So this is my last stitch. I've come around and I've gone up onto the top one. Now I'm actually going to follow the same path backwards. So I'm going to come down around this one. You can see that this is the path that the yarn is taking. And basically what I'm doing is redrawing my steps on top of the last yarn. So if I was to look underneath, I'm following exactly the same path. Now you're going to continue that to the end. Now I've come to the end of the loom. I'm going to wrap that last peg, and then I'm just going to take my yarn down and around my anchor peg, and I'm just going to keep that secured with my little peg there. So you can see now I have 2 rows on either side. And please make sure when you're wrapping that you don't really pull it in, otherwise what will happen is this will start to cave in. You always get a little bit of a bend, but if it's really coming in, undo it and start again. So we're going to start from the opposite of our working yarn end. So we're going to start up this end. Now I'm going to take the bottom loop. You can see that this one only has 1 loop on it. I'm going across to the other one. This has 2 loops. I'm going to take the bottom loop. I'm going to bring it over the top, but I'm going to hold it there. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side. I'm going to take the bottom loop, and instead of coming straight up, I'm actually pulling it out away from the loom and then up into the middle, and then I'm going to hold it with my finger. Now I'm going to repeat on the opposite peg. The thing about casting on for this figure 8 stitch is that we work opposite each peg that we've just done. So I'm going to grab that bottom yarn, I'm going to pull it through, whoops, and then I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to hold it in the middle. I'm going to grab that bottom yarn, pull it through and lift it up and hold it in the middle. So effectively what you're doing is you're gathering up all the slack of yarn, and this gives us a nice tight cast on that's not too loose. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I will see you back at the other end. I'm almost at the end, and you can see that we end up having a very long, a very long piece of yarn. So you do have to be a little bit careful that you don't get it caught like I just did when I was talking to you. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. That's okay. You know what? You just go back and you just take it slow and take it back through. Okay. So here I am back at this point. Actually, now I can see that when I was here, there we go. So I was there, and then I have this final one to bring through. There we go. Okay. Always take it slow. There's no rush. Okay. So I've got to the end. I just went back and tightened those ones up because I could see that I had pulled it through a bit too loose. Now I've got to the end. This was my last one. And what I'm going to do is cut that. And I'm going to do a knot. And I'm going to do a double knot to keep it secure. And I'm just going to pop those tails underneath. Sorry if I'm not making this super clear. There we go, all the tails underneath now. Now, I still have 2 loops on that one. So in fact, this is where I'm going to knit off that first one. And this is the one that you did your slip knot on. So it's going to be a bit tight. So slowly take it across. Okay. And now there I am. I'm ready to start my stitch and to start looming. Okay, so I can push down all of my stitches. This makes a really nice cast on. And I'm now ready to start casting on. Start my figure 8 stitch, which we have a separate video on. And just to show you on a piece that's been finished, this is what you get. It's like a chain stitch, and it just brings it in nice and neat without pulling it too tight. So that's the cast on we use for the figure 8 stitch. We have the other video, which is the stitch itself, and a final video, which will be the cast off. Thanks very much, and thanks for participating in Yarn Not Alone.